Adam Jones delivers one of the most monolithic, crushing guitar tones in progressive rock history. But, his massive wall of sound isn't achieved by just cranking up a single amplifier. It's actually the result of a precise mathematical formula that combines three completely conflicting circuits. Today, we're decoding the Tool phase matrix. I'm going to walk you through the precise science of how you can combine amplifiers without absolutely ruining your signal. If you've ever listened to Tool, you've felt it, right? The sheer physical weight of that guitar tone. It's famously anchored by those vintage '79 Gibson Les Paul custom silverbursts, hot-rodded with Seymour Duncan pickups. But a massive guitar is really only half the equation. A lot of players think they can get this chewy, multi-layered texture by just buying the heaviest amp they can find, diming the gain, and calling it a day. Honestly, that's a total myth. To achieve that signature sound, you have to run multiple amplifiers simultaneously. But without the right engineering behind it, doing that is a massive recipe for disaster. So, here is the million-dollar question. How exactly do you build a wall of sound without destroying it in the process? See, most players think stacking multiple amplifiers automatically makes your sound bigger. In reality, it usually destroys it. You aren't just adding volume, you're actively dealing with acoustic physics, you're generating and combining audio waves, and if you don't actively manage them, they are absolutely going to fight each other. And this brings us right to the core engineering problem that ruins most multi-amp setups: phase cancellation. When different preamps process a signal, they physically alter the alignment of the audio wave in time. Think about it. Every single gain stage literally flips the phase of your signal by 180 degrees. And because different amp models have a totally different number of gain stages, they end up outputting waves at slightly different times. So if the peaks of one amplifier's wave meet the valleys of another, destructive interference occurs. It literally cancels out your frequencies and leaves your tone completely hollow. Adam Jones actually solved this by treating his rig strictly as an interlocking wave matrix. Look, in acoustic physics, we basically have two outcomes here. First, there's constructive interference, our golden geometric harmony. This happens when the speaker cones of your different amplifiers are pushing outward into the room at the exact same millisecond. They reinforce each other and basically double the physical impact. Then, we have destructive interference. This is what happens when one amp speaker is pushing out while the other amp is actively pulling back. It creates this chaotic, jagged fracture in your sound. Your low end disappears entirely, and suddenly your heavy riffs sound like they're playing through a broken transistor radio. Not good. On an audio engineer's screen, that chaos literally looks like wild, unaligned spikes. We call this comb filtering in the studio. It's the frequency clash of unaligned audio waves. Honestly, even if you place microphones on your speaker cabinets just a fraction of an inch differently, or if one amp processes the signal even a microsecond slower than the other, you end up with a messy, weak sound. And let's be real, there is nothing worse than dragging 300 pounds of amplifiers to a gig just to sound like a hornet trapped in a tin can. So to fix this, we really have to become sonic architects. To build this architecture in the physical world, Jones blends vintage power right alongside high-gain modern circuits. Imagine taking a legendary vintage Marshall Superbass head from 1976, delivering that raw, unadulterated mid-range crunch. Now pair it with a modern high-gain Diezel VH4, which gives you this compressed, insanely heavy bottom end. Because these amplifiers have drastically different internal circuitry, their phase responses are naturally completely misaligned. But when they are engineered to work together, they are literally unstoppable. Here is the exact architectural blueprint to build this multi-amp wall on any digital or physical setup. We're going to divide our matrix into three distinct lines. Line A goes to a high-gain circuit, like a Diezel VH4, for that compressed sub-bass punch. Line B goes to a vintage plexi, like a Marshall Superbass, for raw mid-range crunch. And line C, that goes to a clean voice, like a Vox AC30, for high-end chime. Each of these conflicting amplifiers is deliberately chosen to dominate a very specific frequency band. But connecting these wildly different lines without triggering that destructive phase cancellation we talked about, it requires a rigid three-step process. Split the signal, phase alignment, and hard filtering. If you skip any of these, the entire matrix collapses. All right, step one, split your signal into three distinct lines. Now listen closely, you absolutely cannot use cheap Y cables for this. Doing that is the fastest way to degrade your signal, blow a fuse, and cause massive hum from ground loops. You need an isolated splitter box. This lets you send the exact same guitar performance to all three amplifiers simultaneously, while giving you ground lift switches to kill any electrical buzzing. But keep in mind, right out of the splitter, your Diezel and your Marshall are likely going to be fighting each other. And that brings us to step two, This is the absolute secret weapon of this entire setup, the 180-degree polarity flip. When you set up your amps, test them out by pointing the speaker cabinets face to face. If the sound is thin or sounds kind of distant, your amps are out of phase. To fix this, you simply hit the 180-degree phase reverse switch on your splitter box. Or, if you're in the box, flip the phase polarity button in your digital audio workstation. Flipping a signal's polarity by exactly 180 degrees instantly forces those conflicting wave peaks to move in perfect synchronization. And man, when you flip that switch, the magic just happens. By ensuring all three wave peaks move in perfect synchronization, the waveforms lock together to form perfect, harmonious geometry. The speaker baskets on your Marshall, your Diezel, and your clean amp are now pushing outward at the exact same fraction of a second. Instead of canceling each other out, they're reinforcing each other. This is that precise mathematical formula that creates the massive physical impact you actually feel right in your chest. Finally, step 3, apply hard filtering. Because even with perfectly phase-aligned waves, you really don't want 3 amplifiers fighting for the exact same sonic real estate. You've got to carve out distinct spaces. So scoop the mids on your high-gain line so it strictly handles that heavy sub-bass and top-end presence. Then heavily boost the mids on your vintage line so its raw articulation fills right in that gap. When EQ'd correctly, they interlock precisely like puzzle pieces, without any muddy overlapping. The takeaway here is simple. Stop guessing. Start engineering. Achieving a legendary world-class guitar tone isn't an accident. It is a deliberate act of sonic architecture. It requires actively managing your phase alignment and strictly carving out frequency bands, so your gear actually works together instead of tearing itself apart. If you treat your rig like an interlocking matrix, I promise you, your tone will become absolutely monolithic. So, are you ready to build your own wave matrix? Take these engineering secrets, apply that 180-degree phase flip, carve out your frequencies, and transform your own digital or physical setup. Stop letting destructive interference rob you of your tone. If you found this explainer valuable, make sure to subscribe to the Tone Manual. Keep building, keep experimenting, and I'll catch you next time.